Hey Herpers fans, I'm Dave Kaufman. In this episode, you're in for a real treat as fellow Herper Jeff LeClere goes down to Boerne, Texas to visit the legendary Ron Tremper's place. You're about to see some real leopard gecko eye candy in this episode, so welcome to Herpers TV.
I'm a herper and I love it.
Hey Jeff, welcome. Come on down to one of our hallways here. We breed, of course, leopard geckos. We produce some thousands of those, but we also have a wholesale market and price list. And so we have the high-end stuff on our website. But we do about 250 ball pythons a year.
Okay.
We've got a nice group of lavender ball pythons.
Oh, there you go.
We have the Sutherland line, and
Look at the color on those sides. It's almost metallic looking.
yeah, and I like that edging. Isn't that
Yeah,
cool?
the edging is just awesome on that snake.
Crazy, huh? And we were fortunate. We hit it pretty good, and we produced 21 of those this year. So we've got some of my specialty leopard geckos. Here's one of our red stripe project animals. And we're breeding for the nice orange stripe and so forth.
That is a gorgeous leopard gecko.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff. Here's one we call the super tangelo. They have these nice tangerine bands, and in the super form, they expand and take over the light body bands as it matures, and this fills in. Here's an extreme emerine. It's the albino emerine, and it's patternless with a nice tail. This one's going to the Ham Germany show next week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we can't get to all the shows, so we kind of consolidate with a friend and just do a shipment over to Germany and get that going. Leopard gecko's been my thing. We just hatched our 36th generation of captive bred bloodline, and some of them bloodlines have been continuous for all those generations. So we've got some pretty cool stuff. A few years ago, I thought I'd try the snow eclipse times snow eclipse and came up with quite a shock, the Super Galaxy. It's a co-dom, and they're pretty unique, and their head shape changes as they get older. I'll show you.
Really?
Yeah, they get big bulbous eyes, and indentations in the skull kind of raises up. It's interesting. This morph is still not too well known. There's a lot more going on with it than we know, but interesting. Yeah, of course we have came out with the Diablo Blanco, the white devil, a few years ago by putting I found the gene for solid eye color in 2004. So we put that red eye into the all-white gecko and call it the Diablo Blanco. They've been a real hit. This is Hall 2, we call it. It's mostly all leopard geckos, a few fat-tailed geckos, and a couple tortoises in here, but there's over 1,000 blanket boxes. And I built these racks because 20 years ago, the melamine racks that were available, it was so expensive to put this many boxes in place. So I'm pretty handy with things, and using the 3/4 inch plywood and 3-inch screws. Everything's in there. We just have a very small tolerance at the top, and we put about 72 air holes in each blanket box where it's a breeding situation, just for better circulation. But I use the 3-inch flex watt heat tape. So we've got some of our leopard geckos in here. These are ones that I'm holding back for new breeding stock. It's called a blue spot carrot tail eclipse. Has 2 all black eyes. All leopard geckos have a blue spot on their head when they hatch, but this one morph retains it pretty nicely. So the albino of this is called the raptor. It has the all red eyes, and the word raptor stands for red-eyed, patternless Tremper orange.
So do you keep trios together most of the time, and then do you rotate females or males, or how do you do that when you're ready to breed certain things together?
Well, over the years, I first started 35 years ago when I was breeding leopard geckos. There wasn't much known, and so I made these big galvanized metal pans, and this is no joke, I still have them. They were 8 feet long, about this deep, with gravel, and I put a male and 100 females in each one. and then I had like 2 egg-laying boxes, and then I had heat tape just laying on the gravel, and the ashtrays sunk into the gravel for feeding dishes. You know, it's like 1979 and 1980. Oh my gosh, and so primitive. And then over the years, I've cut that down. The special project animals are just kept 1 female per box.
Okay.
So that we know what's going on. And now, this year, for the first time, my pet trade animals, which are very beautiful, but they're kind of byproduct of what I'm working on. I'm doing just 1 and maybe 2, and just moving the male to a different cage.
Okay.
Each male has 10 cages in a row he's taken care of. I've had males be able to take care of 20. Like when I came up with the Tremper albino, he was breeding a different cage every day for 20 days and then start the row over. This is a rainbow stripe project we have going on. What we've done here is taken this red stripe male, and this one had 5 colors of striping. You see some lavender left, but there was black, lavender, yellow, and the orange and some red striping. So we called this the Rainbow Project, and we've bred these 2 together and made the combination young, and now we're going to breed those young to each other. We don't use any substrate. If you go washing all the time, the male is laid down scent trails, and they have their whole cage tricked out, and they're comfortable with that. If you go washing this all the time and cleaning lids and disinfecting, you're
really
erasing all that, and it causes stress. And it's not an excuse for leaving some droppings in the corner. You know, they go in one corner and it's just dry, and we can shop vac those up. Again, we've got our little water dish, we've got our mealworms, and our vitamin mineral powder, which they lick up. Dusting insects is an arbitrary way to try to deliver the right thing.
Just let them lick it up on their own.
Just like when you feel like you need a piece of fruit, Leopard Gecko knows exactly when it needs to lick up some vitamin mineral powder. And we don't use any reptile vitamin mineral supplements. We use stuff for dogs and cats that has all the amino acids, not just vitamin D3, A, and calcium. That's not enough.
All right.
In my opinion. But you can get by with that, but that's just my way of doing it. We use a product called Vionate.
Vionate. Okay.
We use for babies until animals are sexually mature. It's just in the dish. They can lick it up. And this is why some leopard geckos, not given the right nutrition, suddenly are put on sand or some substrate that's a particle, and they detect something that they need. They start overeating it, plus they lunge at crickets and get substrate in their mouth like sand, and they can get impacted. This is what I'm calling the super platinum because of its color. There's sort of silver, some are cinnamon color or light brown. They've come out of my Super Galaxy times Super Snow breedings. Or as I know, there's no blizzard or patternless leopard geckos, the Murphy patternless, in my line. I'm going to be test breeding this right now. I'm breeding it to a blizzard. I'm breeding another one to some patternless, Murphy patternless, just to see what we get. And because I don't like to let out anything or make any claims till I've done test breeding for a couple of years.
Sure, that makes sense.
But this could be a Super Galaxy or a Super Diorite that has no pattern. And it could be something brand new. So people are waiting for that results. I have 8 or 9 of these animals, and they don't have the big head like a blizzard. And the blizzards have a darker head when they're born, a dark spot on their head. These don't have that.
Okay.
So these guys could be the next big rare thing. I feel it's probably a Super Galaxy without pattern, or maybe something entirely new. So we'll see if the platinum's a real deal or not. Here's one of our bandit morphs. It's called a bandit because of the band across the nose. It's not a true recessive. We also bred for reduced head spots for 12 years, so I got a lot of them as happy face on the top. They usually only have 3 or 4 markings. But I started these in '95, and it's a polygenic trait, the band across the nose and this high contrast. It's the only non-albino morph that keeps the rich, deep black as an adult. The concentration of black pigment in this is genetic, and that does carry over. They're my favorite morph of leopard gecko.
Oh, really?
Created. Yeah, I like the high contrast. It's really rich and bred in some lavender. So these are some pick animals that'll be breeding later this year.
That's a striking looking animal.
Yeah, it's a great morph.
So, what is the annual cost for an operation like this?
Well, it's considerable. I mean, we've tried to build in every energy-saving feature with our automatic doors where we can let the natural air and light come in and turn off the overheads and turn off the air conditioning, you know, and kind of be a human thermostat. But in all, when you get this large, you have to have some staff, and that gets costly. And then running, you know, a place over 9,000 square feet here with all the food, and even though we raise rodents and all, we pretty much, you know, have to bring in $300 a day to break even. You know, about $10,000 a month to break even. And so, you know, I've been totally self-sustained. Next month will be 31 years on captive breeding only.
Wow.
And using, of course, now I do apps and I've written a book and do some corporate. But, you know, a lot of people have had day jobs or have a spouse. And, you know, the thing is, we love this kind of deal, Jeff, don't we? We're born
Absolutely.
with it. And, but the reptiles don't know it's Christmas or it's your birthday or you just need some time off. But we still love it, and we'll do what most people wouldn't do. And it's just, I'm going to keep going a long time, you know.
What's your opinion? If you could only keep one type of lizard in your collection, what would it be? Comment below and share your opinion. What did I say about leopard gecko eye candy? You know, there's no one else in the world that is as knowledgeable in leopard gecko husbandry and breeding than Ron Tremper, and it was a real treat to go down there and film his facility. Until next time, you've been watching Herpers TV. We'll see you the first and third Monday of every month.